What's up, guys? Knight here. Today we have another review, Tekken 8. You're like, bro, a fighting game? Why are you reviewing a fighting game? You don't play fighting games. Well, that is, of course, true. But as of recently, I've been wanting to play fighting games more, not because, like, there's any specific reason, but I'm just like, hey, they look kind of fun, so why not give it a shot? And thanks to Bandai Namco, I could very luckily get a code to play it, which is really cool. I've never had that happen before. But we've played it, we've been playing it, we're still playing it. It's about 2 weeks since it's released. I know it's kind of a late review. I've been super busy, I've been wanting to, but I got shit I have to do. Alright, so first we're going to cover the story. It's a fighting game. The story's kind of like a small part of it. That's why I'm not going to go too much about this. But Tekken 8 has a story mode. It's phenomenal. It's 15 chapters. It's about 3.5 hours, maybe, give or take a little bit more. And holy shit, when I tell you it's like spectacle, shonen, Dragon Ball, Final Fantasy shit, it is literally that and more. It is so damn fun. For someone who's never played a Tekken game, I know nothing about the lore. The game has like these lore recaps from 1 through 7, and it's just like a very quick update about each game for people like me who've like never played a Tekken game. And so I watched those with a 15-minute YouTube video. And dude, even with that, the story was sick. And it's all self-contained because they don't really expect you to know what happened in like previous Tekken games, other from like Heihachi dying or like who the main character is or like Jin and stuff. But it all is just like starting out and you play as Jin and you fight Kazuya and they're like, yo, we gotta do a tournament. And then characters start coming in and shit's happening. And the whole time I was watching, I was like, I'm not really like lost. I know what's happening. And they don't expect you like to know the lore of the characters or all this crazy backstory. There's also like throwbacks to like Tekken 3 or Tekken 5 throughout the whole story, from the end, the beginning, the middle. People in chat were telling me all about it, but you don't get really lost because it's pretty simple. Of course, it's a fighting game story, so like they can't really go too crazy, but it was great the whole time. It was just a great like shonen anime spectacle thing to watch. And of course, I play the fighting game, you know, I don't really worry about the story afterwards, but it was well worth the 3.5 hours to sit and watch, even for someone who just barely knows the tiny bits of Tekken lore. So yeah, I recommend it. Of course, if you're a new player, I recommend it. If you're an old player, then of course you're gonna watch it. You have to, like, even just watch a YouTube video on it because it's very much well worth it. And then that kind of goes into the character episodes, which is kind of like story stuff, not really. Every single character in the game has a character episode that you play, you use that character, and you fight other characters that are kind of related to them in some sort, and they might have like a special intro scene. But after you do those fights, you have like a CG ending for that specific character. And I've heard that this was in older Tekken games. Like I said, all this stuff, I don't know the older games, so I don't know if any of this is really super new or old or coming back, so I'm not really sure. However, the CG stuff, this did happen in an older game, and it's really cool because you get like that character moment if you really love a character. But even after you beat the story with like June and Reina, they have their own separate thing, which is a little better than the other stuff, and I'm not going to talk about it because spoilers, but it's pretty damn cool, and they definitely went the extra mile for the sake of, you know, the budget in the game and for the spectacle. But yeah, I haven't really messed around with the character episodes too much because I want to, you know, play the online matches and get actually better. But that, you know, there are options for people who want the story or want to learn their own character. Hey, you watching the video, if you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to stay updated, I stream almost every day at twitch.tv/Nightalize. Please go follow. Okay, thanks, bye. Alright, so next, customization options. That's like basically what Tekken is. And so going into this game, I was like, damn, Tekken, you can customize hella shit. And so when I saw the customization, I was like, yo, there's a lot of stuff. You can do hair and outfits and literally everything. You can have like floating birds and floating just random weapons on your back. There's so much, and everything is so cheap. When you beat the campaign, I think you get like 10 million gold or something, 5 million gold. You get a shit ton of gold. In every single match, you get like 50k or 100k. You're getting a lot of gold when you play the game, no matter what, whether you play the story or the character episodes or Tekken Ball or Arcade Quest. It doesn't matter. And stuff is cheap. Stuff is like 50k gold or 100k gold. Some is like, you know, 250,000, 500k. I don't think it goes up past 500k. I'm not exactly sure, but everything's like super cheap. And when I compare it to something like Street Fighter 6, where I played for maybe 6-7 hours, and I'm like, oh, I really like this character, I want to have like a different color or a different costume, I have to pay for it. I think you can maybe slightly not have to pay for stuff in Street Fighter 6 if you play it like a shit ton, or if you play the World Tour mode. But even in Tekken 8, if you play like 3 matches, you can already get loads of stuff to customize your character. And even if you don't play matches and you play the story for a couple hours, you get even more. And even then, it's very easy to customize stuff, and you don't need to spend real money. And so the customization options are like wild. You can just put on anything on any character. It's great. And from what I've heard, it's not as great as maybe Tekken 7 or Tekken 6, and so it could get better. And as I'm like looking at it, I'm like, okay, I wish there was maybe more hair options, but as of now, I think there's a lot in the first place. And for someone like me who has never really played Tekken games that much and is going from Street Fighter 6, I'm like, wow, I don't have to pay $5 for this different costume. I don't have to pay anything, actually. I pay nothing, and I get a million costumes and a million colors, right? And I can make my character look like not even the same character in the first place. They can look totally different, and that is really cool and really great, and I love just that in general. But alright, let's reel it in here for the Arcade Quest. So Arcade Quest, at this point, I haven't done that much of it. I've done a nice chunk of it so I could get the feel of the game, but that's pretty much what it's there for. There's Arcade Quest. It's like the single player kind of world tour mode like Street Fighter 6 does. It's obviously not the main story mode, but you play as like your little avatar and you go around to different areas of the world, I guess, or like the city, and you fight other AI. And this AI gets increasingly better, and they introduce like the AI ghost battles, which you can fight your own AI or you can fight other players' AI. And it's kind of just like teaching people how to get good at the game and what to do and everything. So for me, a newcomer, it's really good because it's kind of just showing me what to do, and I don't have to be scared of going online and getting my ass kicked right away. And of course, if I didn't have like, the internet or friends in the FGC, I don't have to worry about finding stuff online or just finding anything. I can play the Arcade Quest and I'll get a nice grasp of it without me worrying that I'll just not figure out how to play the game or have to rely on some third party. But yeah, I think Arcade Quest for a lot of players isn't really like a big thing just because they know how to play the game, but for someone like me, it's definitely really good, and for even people who I know who've never gotten to fighting games, I think they would really enjoy that. So I think it's pretty dope. And as well with that, you can kind of like access other modes like Tekken Ball. And so Tekken Ball is just like a mini game in Tekken, and I don't know much about it. I played it like once or twice, but you got a beach ball and you start hitting it and it kills people and it kills other characters. It's wild. It's just a little mini game, and it's really fun. And I didn't play it for that much, and it's definitely fun with friends or like, a party game when people come over. But it was cool. I had a good time, and if I'm bored of beating people up or getting my ass kicked online, I can head over to Tekken Ball and just have some fun. And then the visuals, dude. The game looks so good. Oh my god. I'm playing on PC and I have to run it at like medium settings, so the performance is kind of not there at times, which isn't not great at all. But if you're getting on PS5, it looks beautiful. If you have a really nice PC, it should run very well. Even me, I think I have a pretty decent PC, but my CPU is like very, very old. So as I'm streaming it, I can still run 60 frames pretty much most of the time with medium settings. So it still looks good for that. Optimization might be spotty depending on what you're using. Of course, the current gen, you need really nice hardware if you're going to play a computer game. So that's kind of how it goes. But all right, the feel of the game. How does the game play? How does the online multiplayer feel? How does someone who doesn't play fighting games feel with Tekken 8, with the 3D movement and all the million combos and all this stuff? And first off, I want to say that it feels like you're playing an arcade game. When I played the demo a couple weeks back, I don't remember what it was, I was like, holy shit, I feel like I'm at an arcade standing there at a cabinet beating people's asses. Like, it's very flashy, and I'm not exactly sure like why I have that feeling, whether it's like a sound design thing or a stage design or character design or particles. I don't really know. I think it's a mix of everything. Just very impactful. And when I play like a Street Fighter 6, of course it feels impactful to a degree, but it just doesn't have that like punch and that oomph to it, which I like I said when I played the demo, so it's not even me just like saying, oh, I love the game, it's so perfect, but like it's always had that feel. And I don't know if that's because like that's how Tekken started, it arcade game before it actually came to like console release, so maybe that has like a connection for me, which is why I think I'm also drawn towards the game a bit more, is because with the impactfulness, it makes me want to play the game more. For someone who's like, holy shit, the 3D stuff and all this is so scary, all the combos, I'm like, wait, it looks really cool, and you have these customization options, and it feels good to play, and it's really, really fun to watch, then I feel more inclined to do that. And then while you're doing that, speaking of, we have combo challenges. The combo challenges are like in really most fighting games, I think. Don't quote me on that. But while I'm waiting for a match, I can go to the combo challenges, and it has, like 11 challenges, and it has the combos, and so you can't pass it until you beat that challenge. And so for someone like me, who I'm like, what the hell do I, like, what do I do? How do I get good at this? Get into a match, I'm like, oh shit, what should I do? I'm like, wait, I have the combo challenges. Like, I use them and they work and they kick people's asses, right? And of course, you can't just spam those. You got to learn more, and you got to learn how to grab and defense and everything the game gives you with Arcade Quest combo, everything. It's a really good base that makes me someone who thought I'd be like, oh my god, I'm gonna be terrible at this. I'm not good at Street Fighter 6, and now with a 3D aspect, I'm gonna be even worse. Like, we're having even more factors in play and all this stuff and frame data, and it's just scary. And for someone like, it's very scary. It's very scary. But they do it very well, and they make it very simple feeling. And along with all that, they have the special style, which is just the modern control scheme that like Street Fighter 6 has. I don't know when the whole like modern controls started to be a thing in fighting games, whether Street Fighter 6 is what started it or whatever, but it's in this game as well, and you can toggle it on and off in the middle of the match. Like, when you toggle it, you can see that they have it toggled, which is really cool. And in Street Fighter 6, you can see that the player has, modern or normal on, but in Tekken 8, if you toggle it, it just pops up, and you can do it in the middle of the game. So if I'm getting my ass kicked and I'm like, dude, I don't feel like using my brain right now, I turn it on and I spam it. Granted, if you're like semi-decent at the game, you can pretty much figure out how to counter those, because it's like, I think a set 4 moves pretty much, and obviously, you know, those are really good moves, and they do hit pretty hard for someone who's like not really good with combos and countering and grabs and whatever. But after a while, I was like, okay, it's just the same shit, and I'm getting more better at it. And people use it in like super high ranks too, so like, who cares if you use it or you don't use it? But it's something that's like super convenient. And if I want to use it, I can. If I don't want to use it, I don't. But with all that, we got the online, the rollback, the netcode. I'm not going to really go in depth about it because I don't know much about it, man. I play online and it works. Sometimes it's not great, but most of the time it's great. Obviously, there's ranked mode and all that stuff and matchmaking and whatever. And I'm not really the one to ask or go to about that. I play an online match. If it's good connection, I'm happy. If it's bad connection, I'm not happy. 9 times out of 10 from what I've played so far, it is good connection. So that's great. It feels great. But yeah, man, my first Tekken game, one of the very few fighting games I've played, it's phenomenal. I'm loving it. You know, it's pricey. It's $70, but with that little story mode, that is very, very worth it. And then obviously the game itself with Tekken Ball and Arcade Quest and, you know, the combo challenges and the character episodes, I think there's a lot in this package, even with the customization. So if you think about it, you play Street Fighter 6 for $60, but you got to buy skins and characters, right? And you still have to buy characters in Tekken 8, but you gotta buy the skins for like $10 or like $5 or whatever it is. It's stupid. So kind of play that into the pricing for Tekken, because you get all the customization options, but it, you know, it also has extra stuff to do too. So I think it's very much worth it. I kind of do feel like maybe there'd be 1 or 2 mini games along with Tekken Ball. In the story mode, there is like something that happens that could be also a mini game, so I could see that happening as like a free update. Overall, I'm like very satisfied. I don't really think there's anything extra I would like to be added other than maybe like more customization options here and there, maybe, you know, 1 or 2 mini games. Accessibility wise, for someone who doesn't play fighting games, I don't really know what else they could add to the game that would make me like get better. I just have to play and do the practice mode and the arcade quest. Like, it's all there. I just need to apply myself. So I think that's great. And if it looks cool, then you play it, right? If it doesn't look cool, then you don't play it. That's pretty much like how fighting games go. It's really just visuals at first, and then playing it is, you know, still a big part, but I think it's more so just if your eyes are pleased, that's what you do. And if you see a character in game you like, you use them, and you get good at them. And that's what it was for me. I saw Victor. I'm like, Victor looks sick. Lee looks really cool. Let me use them. I don't really know if I have a playing style in fighting games because I don't play enough. They look cool, so I use them, right? And that's really what the game comes down to. If it looks good, check it out. I can't wait to play more. I think it's the first fighting game I have more than like 10 hours in, so I hope I can get like, you know, 30, 40, 50, and I should, because it's great and I'm going to practice. And yeah, I don't have that many complaints, dude, and I feel like I'm not really a good one to ask about complaints because I can't compare it to older stuff, but just as a base fighting game, I think it has a lot of stuff for accessibility and for people like me. So hey, that's pretty much the review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I stream almost every day, so follow me there, and yeah, see you later.